Hopefully I look very bright. I'm gonna have to lower that down. But today I am going to show you exactly how I clean shoes like I have in the past. But today's just gonna be a video slash live of me cleaning shoes quickly. My goal is to clean about 20 pairs of shoes, and I will be ending the live in about 45 minutes. That is my goal. So I'm just gonna continue now. And if people pop in and stuff like that, that's great. But if you're watching this secondhand, I appreciate you watching it again, and thank you for being here. But until people start popping in, I'm just gonna clean. I'm gonna change this light real fast because it is very bright. There we go. It's a little bit better. Oh. So my goal, like I said, is to clean as quickly as possible. So if you guys have any questions while I'm in the live or after the live, if you have any questions about shoes, make sure you leave it and I will try and answer them as quickly as possible. But hopefully you guys have had a good week. Let me know how your sales were this week, and how your sales were this weekend. Because right now I am just cleaning. So until people start messaging, I'll just clean and then show you what I'm doing. But yeah, I missed a couple spots there. There's 3 people in here right now. I don't know if they're on Facebook or on YouTube. I can't see the difference between the 2 of them, but I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out. I've actually already shipped. So today I shipped out 85 orders from this weekend, which was awesome. So I'm going to make a post about that on Facebook around this afternoon. And then later this afternoon, I have a video about 2 pairs of boots that I found that I was excited about. So we're going back on the content grind. So if you guys have enjoyed that, me coming back in a little way, like I have enjoyed coming back and doing streams and lives and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys sticking around while I'm relearning how to be on social media again. It has taken me a little bit to get back to it, but I've enjoyed being back when I can be back. My biggest thing is to try and teach people, obviously, as much as I can, but make sure that people are still enjoying videos and lives and stuff like that. But if you are working along with me today, if you are working and just have me on in the background, I appreciate that too. My goal, like I said, is I have 20 pairs of shoes that I want to clean today. So my goal is to get that finished in 45 minutes. So I appreciate you guys popping in. I'm just going to be cleaning here. If you guys have questions, please drop it in the comments below, because otherwise I'll just be cleaning and then we can hang out and talk, and I can talk about all conversations. But I do want to know how your sales were this weekend. That's always my favorite Monday conversation whenever I watch lives, and I love to see what people have sold things for, if you're a reseller, or how your weekend was, if is it cold, whatever. But it was the best weekend of sales that I have ever had, so I was really excited about that. I had 85 orders go out this morning. I didn't do a packaging live purely because it was going to take a very long time. It took me 3.5 hours to ship this morning. So I started at 7, not 3.5, 3 hours to ship this morning. So yeah, it was pretty intense, but in those 3 hours worth of shipping, I was able to, I don't know what the total was yet. I'll make a post about it later, like I said. But it was the best sales that I have ever had on a weekend. So I was excited about that. And now I've actually already done, I can probably turn this camera around so you can see it. But I have changed my whole deal. So what before there used to be something where I am now, and now we have all of this on this wall now. So we've completely changed this whole garage. So I made a post about it, and I haven't, it's not fully done yet because I got to get rid of some of these shelves back here because I don't use some of those shelves anymore. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. It took a lot of time to do it. I am very grateful that I was able to do it and have the financial ability to do it. But man, was it a load of work. It was transferring 1,500 pairs of shoes to another wall, moving the shelves, taking that shelf down, moving this shelf here, and just it became a whole deal. So this weekend was pretty intense on terms of stuff. And so I'm very grateful that I had a bunch of sales to go along with it. But I will say something that I have noticed whilst I was working on this and stuff like that is I have noticed that my sales have gone up when I am very consistent on listing and I don't miss a day. So this month I've only missed one day, but for the last 14, so what are we on, the 23rd? Yeah, so we're on the 23rd. So I've only missed one day. So 22 listings pretty much straight. And I can definitely tell a difference between the two of them. That is for sure. Oh, we got some comments. Hello, everybody. New setup looks great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's taken a lot of time. We still I'd love to I probably will make a video. I didn't take any videos of my old setup, which kind of sucks, but there are photos out there of my old setup. But now this setup is so much easier for use and it's easier to shift stuff around, move stuff, and that has been very helpful. So thank you. I appreciate it. I sold a pair of Origin boots. Never heard of the brand, but they sell for $349 retail, pay $20, and I sold them for $220 plus shipping. Origin is one of my favorite pairs of boots to find. I've only found them a couple of times. And when I do, like you said, they sell really well. I think the last one that I sold was over a year ago for like $150. But Origin's a really good one to look out for. I haven't found them and it's probably been a year. But that's a great brand to look out for. Boots are some of my favorite things to pick up. If I could only pick up boots, I would, because I think that they are super easy as long as you pick up good boots. Let me be clear. I think they're super easy to clean as long as they're already in good condition. And they usually sell pretty quickly unless you have a weird size, or sometimes like styles go out. So like snakeskin was really in a couple years ago and now it's kind of died off a little bit. Some brands, obviously there's an exception to that rule, but there used to be like almost any brand you could sell snakeskin stuff and it would sell quickly. That is not the case anymore. I have to drag this. Sorry. I apologize. Hopefully it doesn't affect the camera. 2 seconds. We'll go ahead. There we go. So with this new setup, so behind me is this. So obviously you have the Ring camera there, and then obviously I'm having to load these shoes on. And then the cool thing is now I have changed where my photo setup is. So it's now actually on my shipping and packaging box here. But I'm able to now take photos and then just turn around and put them right back on the thing. So that is great. So although I moved my setup is actually a lot easier to use because now I can just put it straight into inventory, which is so much better because now I had to wait and stuff like that. So now I have an extra 300 boxes that I didn't have. So do you offer coupons or offers regularly? I do. So I use Nifty, Save Simply. I don't know if you've heard of it before. But with Nifty, it's very helpful because I haven't sent an offer on any platform in a couple of months. So Nifty takes care of all of my offers for me on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop. So they send offers. Obviously, I regulate what offer percentage it sends. And then I offer a coupon on eBay. But that's something that I've always done. But yeah, all of the offers and stuff is managed through Nifty. Yeah, that's why I love it. It's a reason why I love Nifty so much. But it is used for all of that. I finally caught a live. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Sophia, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I get that I am not nearly as fun or entertaining as Wayne or Brad, but I appreciate you guys here, and hopefully I can teach you some things while I'm cleaning. Like I said, my goal is to be done in about 40 minutes. So we're about 10 minutes into this. So I got about another 30 minutes of cleaning. I've got a box right here. You can't see it, but I got a box of like 20 shoes that I want to get done. So that will have my listings done for tomorrow. I've already cleaned my listings for today. I just need to take, whoa. Oh no. I can hear it. There it is. I've already done my listings for today, or cleaned my listings for today, so I got to take photos of them, and then I got to clean these for tomorrow, and then I got to take photos of them. So that'll be 40 listings for the next 2 days, prepped and ready before 12 o'clock Eastern time, which is great for me. What are some of your favorite Adidas styles to sell? So favorite or like what sells the best? If you look up like their top selling models, those are usually the ones that sell quickly. Obviously, the newer models will sell for more than the older models, but there's some models in there that have like kind of like a lifetime thing. I like the Ultra Boost, but that's just because I've always liked Ultra Boost. They don't sell very quickly, so you have to be very specific with like colorways and stuff like that. A lot of the time you can just kind of look up the newer models and also what's popular. So that's helpful too. So what's popular now is very different than what stuff that I prefer. Like I like the Ultra Boost and the NMDs, and they're not very popular. So you kind of have to go against what you like sometimes and what is popular. So great example, some of these like New Balance Minimalist shoes, I think they're really ugly, but they sell really quickly and they sell for good money too. But they're like barefoot shoes. They're like New Balance's barefoot shoes. And there's a lot of obsession around being grounding and doing barefoot and all that stuff. So this is a great shoe that people will buy purely because it's a good colorway. That's another thing. But this is a sought after model. So stuff like that. It's just important for you to know, like, it's helpful to have a range of like knowing what people are wearing and then also what's popular and stuff like that. So sometimes it's a lot of market research. It's not, it's funny, but I like people watching. So I like looking at what people wear and what shoes they're wearing and stuff like that. And that helps me decide like what kind of shoes that I'm going to continue picking up. And that's all age ranges, because a lot of times I'm selling to parents of moms and dads that their kids are saying, hey, I want these shoes, but I don't want to buy them new. Or the parents don't want to buy them new because they are expensive new. So they'll go and buy them on eBay. So stuff like that, just knowing what to buy. That is what I suggest. I think we're all caught up on questions and stuff like that. I'm actually doing pretty good in terms of moving through shoes. This was a great find. I paid $13 for these. Don't know why the sticker's on the bottom of them. But these Keen boots for me have always done well. Again, very model specific. Not every single Keen. Before everybody takes my words out of context and goes and buys Keens all the time, look them up. Some of them are not good models. This model is a good model. I think this is called the Durand model. Sold it a couple of times before. This is a bigger size, so it'll also sell a little bit quicker, which is helpful. But some Keen boots are good to pick up. Like I said, my word is not gospel in terms of I say a brand, go pick it up. But there are certain models within the Keen brand that are good to pick up. I will say another thing about cleaning shoes is, and hopefully you guys can see, I'm saying this and you guys can't see. You're seeing more of me. There we go. Now you can actually see me clean the shoes. But another thing I will say is when cleaning shoes, it doesn't have to be perfect. I have a pretty good sense of what is clean for most people. That is clean for most people. So you're able to like kind of see exactly what the buyer would see. And I think that these are really clean. Now, obviously, you can see there's like a little bit of scrapes and stuff like that, just scratches and stuff like that. But that can hopefully be fixed by a little bit of lotion, or at least make the leather pop a little bit more. You may not be able to get the scratches out, but this side looks a lot better than that side. And that's just purely putting a little bit of, I use Doc Martens Wonder Balsam, and that helps the leather pop a little bit, smooths the leather out. It's called boot lotion. So stuff like that. So the difference between that shoe and this shoe is very helpful. New question. You still pick up Asics and Brooks, older models like Brooks goes 14 and under? Good question. If they are the lowest model that I pick up is, I don't like picking up models like 2 models behind. So I think they're on the 17s now. So I don't like picking up unless the Ghost 14s are in like perfect condition. I'm talking like perfect condition, like they haven't been touched, then I'll pick them up. But you're not going to be able to sell them for what they used to sell for when they were only a model behind or 2 models behind. Like, they are a little bit lower of a sell. So I wouldn't pay the same for a newer model that I would for an older model, if that makes sense. But there are occasions, like I said, if the item is practically perfect, they got no rips or tears, and the tread's good, I don't mind picking them up. But again, it's very price dependent on those as well, because I'm not going to be paying $16 to $18 for that, but I would do it for a newer model, if that makes sense. ASICS is very tricky because a lot of the new style is the old types of running shoes. So the mesh ones, that's coming back into style. Before everybody goes and buys the old ones, that's not what I'm saying. It's very model dependent. Some of the shoes that I used to pass for a long time, I will pick up now purely because of the style that's going on right now of those shoes. Now, again, I'm being very price conscious whenever I'm doing that, purely for the reason that I don't want to overpay for it, just in case that style goes out of trend quickly. But it's been going on for about 6 months now. And even some of the newer models, some of the newer stuff that Brooks and ASICS are putting out is actually that old mesh style. So I don't know. Long-winded answer, yes, price dependent. But again, like I said, it's all dependent on what people are willing to pay for it as well. So making sure you look stuff up. And sometimes some of those older models, they have like a cult following. And people will pay really good money for some of the old models. Like some of the Nike Vaporflies, people will like have search history or their searches saved for their sizes, and they'll purchase it within 10 to 15 minutes of it being listed. Whether that's through an offer or full buy it now. I've had a bunch of people that always text me, or they will text me and go, hey, whenever you have this pair again, or if you ever find this pair again, like, don't even list it, just message me and I'll buy it from you straight up. So that way you don't even have to list it because I need them often or whatever. So sometimes you find good buyers like that are willing to do that. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process with the older models. I think we're doing good in terms of time. We've got 17 minutes down. We've got a little bit over halfway of the boots thing. I think we're going to be pushing that 40-minute timer with me talking and everything. We got about 10 people in here. If you guys are resellers, or if you're just watching, either way, I appreciate it. But if you had a sale from this weekend that you're excited about, proud of, let me know. I will say which one I was excited about. I picked up, I don't know if you guys are following on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, but a couple of weeks ago, I think it's been about 2 weeks now. Not last Monday, or not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. I picked up about 30 pairs of Belleville boots. The army boots that I found, they were basically all Belleville. It's not a brand that I would typically pick up. But they were $10, all the same model, and that model in particular sells pretty well. So I picked them up on a whim. They were all $10, and they have been selling like crazy. But I sold a bundle of 4 for $180, so it was like $45 a pair, which I was super excited about. So I sold those. By the way, look how clean these Solomons are. I picked these up like this. I didn't clean them. They were like these. So so I was excited about that one. It was a 4-pair bundle. It was 18 pounds. 18 pounds was the box size. It was wild. I'll post a photo of the stack that I had to make today later on Facebook. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, it's the same thing on YouTube if you're sitting here watching it later. But the stack that I had today was kind of wild, but I was able to ship out 84 items, which was nuts. But yeah, that was the big sale for this weekend, was $180. These, I think, need to be washed. I don't know if you can see that, but right here on this mesh part is not the greatest. All right, so the pair of Reebok X Nano Black Char Choice. I don't even know how to even say that word. Near mint for $50. That's awesome. Great sale. Reebok Nanos have sold well for me in the past. I don't even typically pick up Reeboks all that often, but the Nanos have been selling well for me. let's see. So a good example, I think Jabba has asked it. So this is an older model of Asics, but I'd say that I have a cult following. I have a specific buyer group. There's a couple of people that I sell to, specifically on eBay, that will buy these Gel Nusa tries from me. Doesn't really matter the model. They just really like these shoes. I guess they're half marathon shoes or they're technically they're triathlon shoes because they're run, bike, swim. That's why it's the tri model. But they're obviously not swimming with them. But I have like a couple of buyers that will sit and have my page ready for them. These will sell. So I'm listing these tomorrow. These will sell probably by the weekend. So that is a model. Again, like I said, it's an older model. It's not a model that I would suggest picking up for a ton of money. I paid $5.99 for them. Again, I buy cost in, so technically I'm into them for $14.90 or $14.56, I think is this week's buy cost, but I would only pay $5 for them. So got them for $1 at Plato's. That's a steal right there. Well done. Picked up an Xbox Series X with memory for $125, sold the console for $400, and kept the memory. So was it a terabyte memory, Irina? Because that is a great deal. If you got a terabyte of memory for $125, that is awesome. But yeah, Xboxes sell well. They do so well. I did not have a sale at 400, but we did a lot of money in sales. I did not have one solo sale for 400, but I think we pushed past the 5K mark for the weekend, which is kind of nuts. So I was really excited about that. We had 85 shipments out this weekend. So that is a post that is coming. I haven't made it yet, but as soon as I end the live, I will probably make a post within about 10-20 minutes of it. So that way y'all can see the reason why I didn't do a packing live this morning was because I didn't have time to. If I had done a packing live on that, it would have taken me like 6 hours to do the packing live. Basically, whenever I go on live, it typically takes about double the time it normally would for me to do something, which makes sense because I'm talking and I'm talking to myself. But yeah, it's not something that's not something that I wanted to do. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to do a packing live early in the morning. So if you guys enjoy those packing lives and see what actually sold for me, tomorrow morning I'll do it probably around 7 a.m. is probably my goal time to do it. So we will start around then. But that is my plan. These are going to clean it really nicely. I like these types of Nikes. These are the Zoom cages, I believe. I think that's what they are. Yeah. And this model is like one of the coolest tennis shoe model, and I really like them. They don't sell as fast as they used to. They do sell. They still sell. But these are a nice... It was a terabyte of memory. Yeah, that's a good deal for $125. Even if you didn't sell the Xbox, a terabyte of memory for $125 is worth it. Somebody said something else. Did you buy any shoes from K-Way during his polo whatnot last weekend? I did not. No, I did not. To be honest, I keep getting asked that. I forgot that he was live on Saturday, and I know that that's going to sound like I'm a bad friend. I was actually out with some of my friends here locally, and I forgot we were having a birthday party for one of our friends, and I forgot that was happening at 8 o'clock. But I actually haven't bought any of the shoes from the past couple weekends. The first weekend they were going crazy in terms of prices, and it was prices that were fair, but it wasn't something that I felt like I was willing to spend that much money to then try and flip it. I've heard the price has gone down a little bit, so if he gets more of that stuff, then I will probably be involved a little bit more. But paying $700 to make $1,000 for me is not worth it. But for other people, that is worth it. So, but like I said, those shoes deserve to be $700 for sure. But I think they were going for like a couple hundred, which I can afford to do that if they're going to sell for a little bit more than that. Next question was about a pair of Purple Label polo boots. I haven't listed them yet. What did you get them for? I have to know. And what are they going to sell for? because I'm interested to see what people are getting them for and how much they were selling for. Because like if I have a boot like that, or if I have a pair of anything that I've got that I've paid a lot of money for, I will skip. So I have piles over here. I don't know, you can't see that, but I've been, so this is the bin I'm working on right now. There's one behind it, and then there's one behind it. So that's kind of like my schedule of like, okay, like I know that I got to do this one in order, this one in order. But if something comes in that I've purchased that was expensive, it basically negates one of the shoes that's in there, and I'll move it to the next pile. Because I want to get the stuff that I listed that's expensive. I want to try and get that sold as quickly as possible. I think you said the price down here. Paid like $115, I think, total. That's, I mean, hey, for purple label polo boots, sounds like a good deal to me. Do you have an idea of how much that they will sell for? $115 for purple Ralph. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Purple label Ralph Lauren. Wow, that is tongue twister. Yeah, I haven't. I've picked up a pair, not from Wayne, but I have picked up a pair of purple label dress shoes. I think they were loafers, and they sold for like 400, and they weren't even new. So the ones that he's got, I think they're new, right? So those should be worth some good money. Haven't looked them up. Oh, gotta look them up. I gotta know. All right, speaking of Ralph Lauren, this was one that I was willing to take a risk on. This is a brand that I typically don't pick up. Not the Ralph Lauren, but the Ralph Lauren model. Again, like I said, I don't typically pick these up. They were on ultra sale. I think they were like $2.50. They don't look like they sell for a ton. I think there was one sold, none listed, but I think they sold for $50. So $2 technically. I mean, again, I buy cost. You guys know that. But $2 into 50, I'm willing to take that risk. If they sit for a little bit and I get like a $40 off or something like that, I will take it. But they're in really good shape, and they're kind of like a suede, good size, 7.5. So good little pickup, I think. But I haven't ever sold that model before, or I think I've only sold Ralph Lauren like one time. So it's not a model, or it's not a brand that I typically pick up unless I can get it. I think I would pick it up more often if I could get it for cheaper. I think the retail is $650. Yep, new in box. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you got it for $115, least you could get is $250 to $300. You're definitely making money on it, 100%. For purple label, that's it. I mean, that feels like an easy one to me. But I don't know. You're gonna have to look at the comps. Sometimes comps, it retails for a ton amount, and then it doesn't resell for as much. But I know for certain that purple label does well. I don't think you have to worry about that. Ready. We're getting close to the bottom of this pile, and we're about 30 minutes in, so I feel like I'm doing well. So these need a little bit more cleaning than the rest of them. So just take the sneaker cleaner. I guess I'll talk about the cleaning stuff. So I take this Grandma sneaker cleaner and just spray it onto a wide erase marker. And then you can see that these midsoles are a little bit dirty in there. And for that, I like to spray a little bit more than usual, because where it is going to be really hard to actually clean it because of the angle that it's at. But let's see if I can show you. It's not going to be perfect because some of that spots you actually physically can't get unless you have like really small hands, and I don't. Let's see. So it's better. It's not going to be perfect, but it's better. So my goal is to not make it look absolutely insanely perfect. My goal is to make it just cleaner than I found it, obviously. And then if people have a complaint about the cleanliness of it, I tell them it's pre-owned shoes. If they have an issue with it, they should buy new. It's the truth. Like, I am not going to be able to make them perfect. I'm going to do my absolute best to make them as clean as possible, but I am not perfect. I cannot change the condition of an item. But if you look at this shoe versus this one, it's a little bit better. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's a lot cleaner, which is nice. So, and this is the other reason why I use shoe trees, because look at that. The difference between that and the difference between this is a lot better. So yeah, that's why I use that. We are getting close to being done. I think we got a pair of boots in here that I'm actually making a video about in the next couple days. So I don't even know if I want to tell. Well, there's only 9 people in here, but it's a brand that I've actually never found before. I was actually really excited about it because it was a brand that I've been looking for. But I had to do another preliminary research because it is a brand that I've been looking for since I started. It was a brand that when I first started shoes, I did a bunch of research on a bunch of expensive brands, stuff like that. And it's a brand that I have never found before. I'll clean it next. But the pair of boots were hidden behind another pair of boots. So I'm glad I looked. They were also in a women's section. So it's not a section that I sit around in very often. But it was sitting behind another pair of boots, and they looked a little bit stranger compared to the other boots that were around it. And yeah, excited about the fact that I found them. All right, that's about as good as I can get with those. All right, and there we go. All right, the boots in question it's a brand called Trippin'. Sounds like a slang of tripping, but they are German boots. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce what that says on the bottom, but these sell for really good money. I was super excited. Like I said, super excited that I found them. It is a brand that I have been looking for. They have the cool, so there's a zipper side there, and then they have this back here. I'm gonna just mini tie them. I don't really think I need to, but I'm just gonna tie it because I don't like the laces are just flopping around. We'll just do that. But obviously I have boot shoe trees, if you want to call it that, boot trees. They are currently being used right now, but what I'll do is I'll put the boot trees in them and they'll look like that. So they'll look like somebody's actually wearing them. And like I said, these are in insanely good condition. I think one of the last ones that I saw sold for $200. So I was really excited about finding these. Just got to get the rocks out of the letters at the bottom of them. Just using that little drill file to clean it. Yeah, and these are in really great shape. So I'm trying to find out where the price was that I paid for them. It's a good brand. Again, like I said, I haven't actually sold it yet, but it looks like the thing was. So these were $9.99. Looks like there are a few pairs listed on Posh for $3.50. I'm assuming we're talking about the purple labels, Thomas. You got, $3.50. What's so 20% fees on that? $70. So if you sold it for $3.50, $2.80 into your $115, you're making $170 in profit. That's worth it to me. That's a great find. And you're getting a deal from Wayne too, so that's even better. Good stuff. I don't know what your profit you're hoping to get on those, but a $170 profit to me sounds like a deal. Doubling up your money and some. Great. So these Trippin' boots are now cleaned. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more boots to sell. Or to clean, I guess. Good morning. Love selling shoes. Me too. That's why it's my full-time job. And I am excited that I'm able to go live to show how I clean shoes and stuff like that. So I appreciate you all for being here. We got about 6 minutes or something like that. But I appreciate y'all being here. Oh, great question. What size of light box do you use for photographing? Is there a particular brand and or style do you think is best? I think that a photo box, regardless of the brand, is better than taking it on the floor or taking pictures of shoes or whatever you're going to do. I think a photo box is best because it gives the best lighting for me. Now, I know that there's some setups for clothing and stuff like that, that's a different story for. But for shoes, the light box that I use, I think, is in the link that's in the description title of this thing. So I think I have it in that link tree. Let me see. We'll go on a deep dive together, everybody. So you're on Facebook. So worst case scenario, you can go to the page bio and hit that link tree link. Let me see if I can do it. And it'll pop up this. So it'll pop up everything that I use. Let's go to my Amazon storefront. I think I have it on there. So I have the photo taking. I do. So the one that I use is this one. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is the best one that I use. It's the ZKEEZM Lightbox. Like I said, I have a link to the exact one that I use. So if you're interested in that one, I think that is the best one to use. It's probably one of the cheapest one for the size. So I love it. I've had it for 5 years now. So even when I was doing part-time, I had that, and it is the best. Do you have to clean every pair? No. Sometimes the pairs that I pick up, they are perfect. Like a couple of minutes ago, I had a pair of those Solomon shoes, great brands, but they were practically new. So I literally just marked over with a Sharpie the price on the bottom of them, and then I put them on the shelf. So yeah. Hello, FYI, Calhoun, Georgia. Wayne and Sir said you would come and clean my shoes. Yeah. No. Faith, I appreciate the offer from them for me to do that. But this is my least favorite part. I don't like cleaning shoes is something that I'm thinking about hiring out. Because I can do all the other stuff. I don't mind photography. I don't mind listing now, especially with Nifty's AI listing thing. Listing has now gone from a 40-minute ordeal to a 20-minute ordeal. So both of those things are really easy. But cleaning is my least favorite thing to do. So apologies, but that ain't happening. I appreciate you as always, and you know that. But I ain't cleaning other people's shoes. I barely like cleaning my own. Do you promote all your shoes on eBay, and at what percentage do you use? Great question. I do. I'm going to be on the higher percentage than most people should be, in my opinion. Now, you hear a lot of people say, oh, I promote at 7%. Oh, I promote at 5%. I think that you promote at what you can afford. So if you need less fees taken out of your items because you're paying more for your items, then don't promote high. That is my opinion. I do not have I know what my percentage is, but if I tell you it and then you go, oh, Ethan's got this percentage, I'm going to go promote all my shoes at that percentage. It also is very dependent on your business. Like my business generates a lot of movement, so I'm able to afford that 9%, but a lot of people can't do that. So they'll say, oh yeah, I promoted 9% like Ethan can, or I've promoted all the way up at 10% before I'd started at 5, I've done whatever. And like that's an extra fee on top of all of your listings, especially now with the new promoted thing. People don't really talk about that. So you're already doing, so shoes is like 12.9% or 12.8%, something like that already for eBay. Plus I run a coupon. So that's another 10% if they use the coupon instead of instead of an offer. Then it's another 8, 9, 10, 7, 6% on top of that. So once you're finished with all that, you're doing that like 20 to 25% fees if they use the coupon or whatever. But my business, I can afford doing that. Some people can't. So I'll never suggest a percentage to use because it's all business dependent. Some people can't do that. Some people can. But that is my spiel on promoted listings. Thomas said, I was using Nifty as well to bulk draft. Do you trust the AI generated description title and add to the pricing yourself? Also, do you list on different prices on each platform? Great question. I use it. I change the titles because I'm very, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound very big-headed. I'm very knowledgeable about how eBay works for shoes. And so I think there is a certain title way to create a title to hit more of eBay's algorithms than just using the AI thing. So I use the AI thing to basically fill out all the description, everything. Then I'll use, obviously, most of the time they get most of it right, but I have to sit there and format the title. But it doesn't take me that long. I've done it for years, so it doesn't take long for me at all. But I use it for everything. It's great. I suggest it to everybody. But yes. And then, do you list at different prices on each platform? No. Same price everywhere. Whatever it happens to be is all the same price. Because I don't have time for all that. I got 1,500 listings. I can't price each one individually. I'm seeing you use multiple cleaners. How do you decide what to use? Trial and error. So I actually only have one cleaner. So this is the only cleaner I have. This acetone is very different. So the acetone gets the numbers and stuff off the bottom. Or so this has, somebody wrote on the side of these shoes. So we're going to attempt to use acetone to get rid of it. It may not happen. But yeah, I only use these two cleaners. It's not necessarily like one's better than the other, but one's used for better things. So it's not perfect, but it's off to the best of my ability. Yeah. So these need a little bit more cleaning. We got 2 more pairs left. We've just crossed the 40-minute mark, which is just fine. My goal is to be done in 45 minutes, which is typically my goal to finish 20 pairs of shoes. So if I can do that while talking, that is a win-win for me. So this is a cool model. This is not a brand or model that, again, like I said, I would pick up regularly. These were just discounted. But these Air Max, like Chelsea boots, they're kind of cool. They're in good shape. I just got to clean them up a little bit. But like I said, very price dependent. I would not have paid what the sticker price was. But I did buy them for a little bit cheaper. So that is good. But like I said, just because I have, like, you see me pick something up, don't always take it as like Ethan says, oh, pick up this model all the time. That is not what I'm saying. A lot of the times I'm able to get them for a little bit cheaper. Sometimes I'm willing to pay up for stuff just because I've got it here cleaning, whatever. Like, I can tell you if it's a good brand and stuff like that I would consider picking up, but I'm never going to be like a suggestion of every single time pick this one up unless it's a proven brand that I can tell you, like, yes, this is a good model, whatever. Because I don't feel like that's fair for me to go, oh yeah, always pick up. Like, a good thing that Brad and Wayne do with their Polo Ralph Lauren is like, they go, yeah, don't pick up X model, this model, this model, this model. But these models sell well, and they sell well for everybody. That is just my spiel. Ethan, I'm in the process of moving around 1,000 pairs of shoes. I believe you've had to move that many before. Any advice? Welcome to my party plan of what I had to do. So, Thomas, because you are here often, I'll show you what I did. So we had, that one was never there. That used to be where my cleaning setup was. This one was technically all the way to the wall, and then we had to move another one. So we moved, this guy was originally where we're standing. So I moved, sorry, this is going to look really awful, but I moved that guy there, and I moved that one there. But I moved, the biggest thing that I did was I took all of those boxes off the shelf, and I took them off the shelf and I put them in the driveway. That was very, very awkward because a lot of people in where I live do not know that I do that. So I had a lot of people stop and ask questions because I had my garage door open. And like, what are you doing? Like, what are these for? I'm like, it's my job, it's my business, whatever. So I didn't like having them out, but I did it quickly. Moved the shelves. They were very heavy, but we moved the shelves in that correct order. So now I've got about, so what's that? 8 by 4. So that's 32, 64. And then that one fits 25 boxes. So that's 77. So I have 77 boxes that are on that side. Then I have this shelf behind me, which is great. So I had to do a whole big maneuvering. My biggest thing would be clear out your area. So if you have to get the shoes out of the area and then do a reset of all just the shelves that are in there, that's my suggestion. I would take everything one at a time, because if you try and move the shelf and then immediately put boxes in and then you have to move it again, then you have to take those boxes out. So move your shelves first. That and drawing a plan of what you kind of are thinking of, that was helpful. We didn't do that, but we had like already pre-planned on what everything was. Do you often reduce prices for shoes that haven't sold, and how long do you leave them before pulling and donating unsold pairs? Great question. So I have a rule in my business that anything over a year gets zeroed out in terms of inventory. So how that works for me is basically from anything from February, what's today? The 23rd. So anything from February 23rd of last year gets what I call cost of goods zeroed out. So at that point, all of the other stuff that was in that bulk of what I spent and bought last year, there's not very much of it. I think I only have like 100 pairs that are over a year old. And those all get zeroed out. So what happens is when they get zeroed out, it means that there's no cost of goods on them anymore. So I drop the prices really significantly, and then I will hold them for another 3 months. So if they don't sell for 3 months, in 3 months, then they will get donated and or they'll get listed like as a bulk lot or something like that. I try and get my money for them before I donate them. And I know some people are like, oh, just take the tax donation right off of what you paid for them. I get that too. But at the same time, I'd like to try and get money, actual cash first. But that's my process. Just clicked your link on Poshmark, but it says 404 not found. It shouldn't. That would be news. Where'd you click that link from? By the way, this is a wild model of shoe. This pair of Uggs. Again, like I said, it's not a model that I would typically pick up, but I got them for cheap. Because that would be interesting, because I just looked it up the other day. Let's see what happened. Linktree, click my Linktree. Posh Closet. Interesting. Huh. Let me see what it says when I copy the link. I might have to go in and actually change the link, which would be unfortunate. Hold on, I'm going to sit here and do it right now, because that's really frustrating that is not working for people. Also, I think y'all said that you couldn't see the shelving unit. Is that correct? Because if you can't see these shelving units that I have, then I'm going to need to reset that as well, because I know they sold out of them. Links. What is the link for that Poshmark? Yeah, that's not the closet name anymore. Huh. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to change that right now. How do I do this? Does anybody know how to get your own link? Closet QR code? Nope, that's not what I want. My seller tools? I guess you could technically do it on the computer and be a lot easier. I may have to do that. Does anybody know how? Tried to paste, but it won't let me. Yeah, so the Poshmark store changed from that original one to now it's TCR Shoes. So it's the same one as my eBay. But I don't know how to get the link on my phone. I'll figure it out. I'll reset it. Somebody asked a good question. Is it a 2-car garage? Yes, it is a 2-car garage. So right here above is the middle of the garage. So I'm on the right side of it, and then you can put another car on the other one. But yeah, it's very helpful that it's a 2-car, because a 1-car would not be able to fit all of this. That is for sure. I will figure out the Poshmark thing in a second. Your eBay is great. It's so uniform. Does that help to get attention on eBay? I think it doesn't hurt. I don't know if anybody has gone, like, I know that there are a couple of people that like have my store saved for certain models and stuff like that, like models of shoes and stuff like that. But I don't know necessarily if it's, I think that the eBay store is helpful to have in a good uniform setting, but I don't think it is like absolutely necessary for like major, like people making a ton more purchases than anybody else. What is the name of the cleaner that you spraying the shoes with? It is called Grandma's Sneaker Cleaner. So I will show you in 2 seconds. Sorry. Got to get the price tag off of it. So it's Grandma's Sneaker Cleaner. Susan, I have a link to it in the link tree. I promise that link is actually working. It's in my Amazon storefront. So if you purchase it from the Amazon storefront, it actually helps me out a little bit. It's not much. It's probably like 30 cents you give to me. It's you don't even have to pay for it. Like it won't say, oh, do you want to donate to Ethan? It's just a click link. It's an affiliate link. So if you are interested in that, you can use that, get it from my Amazon storefront. I would be appreciated. That would help out the channel a little bit since we're growing very slowly. But if you're interested in that, that is what it's called. All right, I am done. That is 20 pairs of shoes done. So if you guys have any last minute questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will head out of here. Well, how do you determine the size of the shoe? How to determine the size on shoes? I actually got home with a super nice pair that has no size listed anywhere. Great question. What is the brand of shoe? That is my next question. What shoes am I wearing right now? I'm not going to lie. I have socks on. I have, fun fact, I have Apothecary socks. It's not a brand that I have ever bought for myself, but they are Whatnot socks. So Whatnot sent me these socks when I first joined Whatnot. They sent me like a care package, and they're very comfortable. Danette, I think that's how you say your name. What was the brand of shoes? Because that's very dependent on how I tell you how to look up the size. Sometimes they'll have the EU size, so it'll be say like 37, 45, 48, 36, 35. Like that's the EU size. So you can look up that brand and then the size chart. Or you can measure it. So you can take a tape measure and measure from, I'll do that so I can show you. Grab a tape measure real fast. I'll just take these shoes as an example. But a nice leather pair of women's Skechers. Okay, so what you can do is this. So you take the top, measure all the way to the end. So these are they're like 12.5 inches. And then you can take that 12.5 inches and you go to the size chart, and sometimes they'll have an inch category thing. Another thing that you can do is if you have another pair of shoes. Now, I have 1,500 pairs of shoes, so it's very easy for me to figure out what size they are. Just what I like to do is, let me find another pair of shoes that I can do this with. So you grab a pair of shoes just like this, and you can kind of tell, oh, these are a lot bigger, a lot smaller. So these should be similar size, I think, anyways. Yeah, so these are 10.5. So I always put them down on the floor like this. And then you can kind of tell, you look at the toes so that you can see that the toes, this one's taller, but it's not by much, which would make sense. A 10.5 and a 10 would be very similar. I would also suggest if that you do have a set, so like if you were looking for New Balances, like that's really important that you measure it against other New Balances, because like I measured those against Brooks, but I know that they're very similar. So the Skechers, they should have a size tag they'll either be in the back heel. So like I can kind of walk you through it. So if you can't find it, most of the time they're on the tongue. If they're not, Skechers likes to put them in the back heel. So they either be right here or they'll be right in there. If they're not there, then that means that that thing has worn off. And you can look up Skechers size chart, and I'm pretty sure they do an inch measurement and or a centimeter measurement. So instead of inches, you just measure it in centimeters. Hopefully that helps. Wow, quick you are. I am trying to be. All right, I'll show you the progress that we made because I feel like that's fair for the end of the thing. So let me back you up all the way over here. So this rack I already actually did. So this one, and these guys all the way to here I did before, and then all of the ones down there all the way down there was done today. So 40 cleaned in about an hour and 20 minutes. Obviously there was a break to then get the live sorted. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Hopefully this helps. If you guys have any other questions about cleaning, stuff like that, leave it in the comments here or just ask in any post that I make. I try my best to answer as many as I can. Sometimes the posts blow up and I can't answer everybody, but my goal is to answer as many as I can. So hopefully I will see you guys soon tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I don't know if people are up, so that's 7 a.m. Eastern time. For anybody else that's around the world, the plan is to do it around 7 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, I didn't think about looking up size charts with measurements. Thank you. Yep, that's a great way to do it. You're very thorough in your explanation, which really helped. Well, thank you. Would you consider doing a show on how to spot fakes? I have done many videos on how to show it. So there's a couple videos that I've made. So there's a pair of Nikes. If you look on the Reels on Facebook, click my page, look on Reels. There's a pair of Nike Air Force Ones, 2 pairs of Jordans, and a pair of Dunks, all explaining why they were fake. That should help. I'd love to see you clean cowboy boots. Oh, you missed it. I actually cleaned a pair. But I pick them up all the time. So I will, if you are here often, you'll see it again. All right. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out.